Have you ever known the right thing to do, but struggled to do it? Not because you didn't understand it, not because nobody warned you, and not because God didn't show you, but because doing what was right came with discomfort. That's the battle most people are really fighting. And my indirect mentor that I mentioned in my book, Napoleon Hill, said something powerful that lines up with this entire conversation. Do what your conscience tells you is right. Simple words, but powerful words. Because your conscience will often lead you down a harder road before it even leads you to peace.
Empowering you to live a life fully charged. This is 7,000 Volts, Living an Electrified Life with L.J. Tucker.
What's going on, everybody? This is L.J. Tucker, your host. Welcome back to 7,000 Volts, Living an Electrified Life. Today we're talking about something deeper than motivation, deeper than the success, deeper than money. We're talking about that conscious, that internal voice, that voice that some people say it's a battle going on from left to right, good versus evil. That feeling you get when something doesn't sit right. That pull inside of you that's telling you, handle this differently, speak differently, move differently, think differently. And the truth is, most people already know what they should do. The problem isn't knowledge. The problem is comfort. Being in the space that I'm in and having the opportunity to mentor and work with people, is not the most easiest traveled road because everybody wants to do what they want to do. And because of it, because of my experience, and my intellect, you're trying to help people see things through a tunnel vision. I say, listen, I have to often sometimes find and say, hey, pause, break. You reached out to me. Here's what you said, and here's my solutions. Whether you use it or not, it has no reflection on me. This is me trying to help you overcome the problems that you're currently having. And that's what brings us to the problem of comfort. And there's a word that goes between the conscious and comfort. And your conscious and your comfort will often fight each other. That's that war. Your conscious says, wake up early. Do it now. Comfort says, sleep in just 5 more minutes. Give me 5 more minutes. Your conscience says, fix that attitude. Comfort says, stay offended. I had a few years back a gentleman that used to work for me, and he's not the only case, but in this particular case, it seems like he always had this attitude. I said, everything okay this morning? He goes, oh, I'm good. Face all botched up. I'm like, you need to notify your face that you're good because you look like you got hit in the face with a bag of sour grapes or something, and that's not going to work for me. He said, what do you mean? I said, we work in peace over here. And, we can't do our job as a whole when part of the team walking around looking like he got hit in the face with a bag of sour grapes. That's, for me, it doesn't work here at Tucker Enterprise. And for whatever reason, he was offended, but he understood what I was saying. And your conscience will says, work on yourself. And sometimes you'll physically have a peaceful person like me that'll help you work on yourself, especially if you're working for me and you're representing the brand that's normally on my shirt. I'm pointing to my shirt, but I don't have a Tucker Enterprise shirt on right now, so it's irrelevant. But so I'm like, hey, listen, we representing this. Like, leave your problems on the outside, go back to the problem tree that's out there before you get into the gate, and leave your problems at the tree. You can pick them up on your way out. Comfort says blame everybody else. Man, this is so true. Everybody wants to blame everybody else. And your conscience says tell the truth. Comfort says protect your image. The battle is happening every single day, every single minute. And it's scary. And the scary part of it is if you ignore your conscience long enough, you eventually stop hearing it clearly. That's very dangerous. Because when we get into a comfort zone, we're comfortable. I mean, it is not only dangerous, it makes you delusional, and it starts feeling normal. Negativity starts to feel normal. Laziness starts to feel normal. Bitterness starts to feel normal. And before long, you build a life disconnected from peace, and everybody else is wrong. There's nothing that can be said to these particular people, including myself, because I in my book I call it, I used to see life through a tinted stone. I'm describing the old version of me. And so when you sit down and you really think about the battle that's going on within, somebody's going to win. Either peace is going to win or comfort is going to win. And comfort is not a place that you, like when you get to a place in life where you're comfort and you're living in comfort, let me say this correctly. There's two different kind of comforts. Like if you want to be in the comfort of your home outside of this heat or outside of the rainstorm, you're like, hey, I'm going to be comfortably in my home, sitting on my couch, enjoying my day off. That's a different kind of comfort than, hey, I know I need to get up, but this feels too good. And I know if I don't get up, things are not going to get done. I'll sum it up as this: choose your comfort. See, living an electrified life isn't just energy on the outside, it's alignment on the inside. Last weekend, me and my boys, we went to a Rays baseball game. They got a chance to go on the field before the game. They got to run the bases after the game. To me, that is a different kind of comfort in itself. And what I mean by that, comfort would be like, oh man, you can watch that Rays game right at the house, flipping through channels. You ain't got to buy all that expensive food they have at the Rays game. And, but at the same time, I'm building a life of true comfort if that's the choice that I chose to do. And I'm not building that bond with my boys at the time. So yeah, it was fun being at the game. It took me out of a comfort zone. It took me out of my home on my day off. But that's a part of that high voltage. That's a part of that electrified life that I'm living, just to see life through my children's eyes, my boys, being able to run and act like they're catching one of the foul balls, even though it didn't come to them, and to eat their cotton candy, their pretzels, their hot dogs, and just the whole experience when you get outside of a comfort zone and just live life. The joy in my boys' eyes, that's it. This is why I live. I live just to build a life to be able to live in peace and watch my children and be the best father that I can. 7,000 volts means living connected to purpose, conviction, discipline, and truth. Electricity only flows correctly when connection is right. And people are the same way. When your mind, spirit, and conscience are disconnected, your life starts to flicker. I know you've seen those flickering lights before the power go out. You're like, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. My favorite show is on. I'm in the middle of this. Oh man, the lights just went out. That's just a little preview of the reality of the war that goes on within with your conscience being disconnected from reality. Like you have to choose your comfort. You lose focus, you lose discipline, you lose peace, you lose direction. But when you start listening to the inner conviction, the inner peace, something changes. Your life began to what we call stabilize. Not because life got easier, but because your decisions became clearer. This connects directly to what we talked about before. Easy street versus the hard work. Easy street says avoid accountability, avoid discipline, avoid sacrifice, avoid difficult conversations. But the hard road says face it, grow through it, learn from it, become stronger because of it. And here's the truth most people miss. The hard road eventually creates an easier life. Not easy because problems disappear, easy because peace enters your life. A person constantly avoiding what they know is right will never fully rest mentally. And that's very important, especially in today's society, because conscience keeps knocking every step of the way. And when you create a life of peace, things become easier, like something simple as brushing your teeth. Because if you don't brush your teeth every day, people don't want to be around you. You don't want to be, you can't even blow your breath in your hand because that backfire gonna knock you out because you got bad breath. You got gingivitis, you have all the buildup on your teeth. That simple metaphor, just think about it. When you do something consistently, not that it makes you right or wrong, you don't. If you choose not to brush your teeth, that's okay. You're gonna feel that pain when that cavity comes, and people don't want to be around you when you try to have a conversation because you got bad breath. Let's simplify it. This is what life is. When you don't do things in a certain way to bring peace to your life, you don't just have bad breath. You have bad intentions. Your whole aura stinks. I was reading material from a Napoleon Hill the other day, and he purposely talked about purpose. But purpose without character becomes dangerous. Talent without discipline becomes unstable. Success without conscience becomes destructive. That's why renewing your mind matters. You have to train. I'm going to say it again. You have to train. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back. You have to train yourself to think differently. Most people aren't defeated by lack of opportunity. They're defeated by internal conflict. Their habits fight their goals. Their emotions fight their future. Their comfort fights their calling. And eventually, they become exhausted from fighting themselves. But when you begin living according to conviction, you stop leaking energy. Now your power has direction. That's the electrified living, people. Like, if I don't plug in the TV or the charger into the wall, I'm not connected to the source. And when you're not connected to the source, you have no power. Your conscience is one of the greatest warning systems God gave you. I remember one time when, I told you the third time was a charm when I got engaged. Well, guess what? My second engagement, I knew that warning sign was going off before I bought the ring. Guess what? I bought it anyway, and it didn't work because I already knew. That's a part of that warning system. Sometimes before a mistake happens, especially back in the day in the tree service, something says, "Don't take that cut. Don't. You took the cut. Now you got damage on your hands because you didn't listen to the warning system." So this is why I'm so convicted on job sites. When I'm with my guys, I say, listen, ask questions later. We're going to do it this way because I said so. Not because I have authority over them. It's because I've been down that road before when I didn't listen to my warning system. And when you listen to that warning system, it's going to save you money, time, and headache. Before the relationship failed, you already saw the signs. Before the situation collapsed, your conscience spoke first. But many people override it because emotions are loud. Oh, come on, this next one. Pride is loud. Temptation is loud. Ego is even louder. Fear is loud. Conscience usually whispers. That's why stillness matters. This is why you have to figure out how to meditate and what meditation looks like for you so you can stay still. That's why prayers matter. That's why reflection matters. Because if your life stays noisy all the time, you can't hear yourself think. One of the greatest forms of self-destruction is betraying your own conviction repeatedly. Every time you ignore what you know is right, you weaken trust in yourself. And eventually people lose confidence, not because they're incapable, but because internally they stop believing in their own decisions. But every time you honor your conscience, you rebuild internal strength. You become grounded, stable, clear-minded, and electrified. So today, I want to challenge you. What is your conscience trying to tell you right now? What conversations you've been avoiding? What habits in your life need to change? What discipline have you been postponing? What truth already lives inside of you? Because sometimes the next level in your life isn't hitting in another motivational video. Sometimes it's hitting in an obedience. Sometimes it's hitting in honesty. Sometimes it's hitting in something you already know is right. And I want to give you credit where credit is due. Napoleon Hill touched on something powerful when he said, do what your conscience tells you is right. Simple, but life-changing. This is L.J. Tucker, 7,000 volts, living that electrified life. Stay electrified, my friends.
This has been 7,000 volts, living an electrified life. Available on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. For more information, visit us on the web at ljtucker.com. Remember, stay electrified.